I'm going to assume your life is something like mine. You've got a big race in the diary that really matters to you and you're running 6-7 days a week. You have a busy job, you have a busy family life. You know strength training is important, but you just can't find the time to fit it in. Well, I'm with you. I've got a 100-mile race in June. I'm in week 4 of the training plan and my running volume has really ramped up. Work is crazy busy. I'm trying to be a good dad, trying to be a good husband, and it's just so hard to fit it all in. So today we're going to reverse engineer a 20-minute workout you can do at home with very little equipment that will prepare you for your runs and the training plan. I say reverse engineer because it's so important to start with the end in mind. When creating my routine, I'm going to be thinking about what I need from my body, what sort of stresses I'm going to be going through, and then I'll choose the exercises accordingly. The routine might not be exactly what you need, but hopefully by sharing my thought process, you'll either be able to tweak my routine or come up with your own routine completely. In terms of customization, I've also got some ideas which I'll be sharing at the end of the video. So, reverse engineering. I've got 3 ultras this year and 2 of them are going to be a big physical challenge. The first, Ultra Trail Snowdonia, UTS 50. I know what a physical challenge it is because I did it last year. The terrain is savage, so you need to be strong in multiple directions. And then I also fell over a few times, which normally involved one foot slipping out from under me, so the supporting leg went up into full hip flexion, full knee flexion. So I need to be strong to cope with falls like that as well. My second big challenge is the 100-miler in June. Hopefully the terrain will be better, nicer trails, but it's the volume that's going to get to me. So I just need raw strength to support my body with that amount of time on feet. And it's not just the races. I also need to think about how strength training is going to influence my running plan. Before I got into this plan, I was doing barbell work and heavier weightlifting, but that did make me ache for quite a few days. I know the hybrid guys do it, but I just don't have that much time to eat enough and prepare meals the way they do. So I'm going to be using bodyweight training, which will be effective, but it won't beat me up and make me ache for a few days after the sessions. Right, the workout. I do a quick warm up where I get my body warm in all directions. So I use the knees over toes split squat and the Cossack squat. Once my body's warm, I'm then going to pick 4 movements that I'm going to rotate, and these are my working sets. That means I'm going to go almost to failure or to failure, so an RPE of 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 with each set. I'm going to have a rest of 60 seconds between each set, which isn't a huge amount. So then that means 2 things. Firstly, I can fit the workout in relatively quickly. But secondly, it becomes a muscular endurance challenge as well. I'm going to be doing the routine barefoot, and that adds foot strength and balance and proprioception, which is another thing that's great for runners. The first movement is a pistol squat. I'm doing a regression because I don't have the strength or the ankle mobility to do the full pistol squat, but for me, I just reach my butt back to a step while keeping one leg out straight in front of me. I occasionally do it where my standing foot is on a slant board, so that takes the ankle out of the equation and allows me to go a bit deeper. But the pistol in general, my thought behind it is it's just a good raw strength exercise that adds a little bit of extra balance and proprioception. Next up, we have the shrimp squat, which is another good single leg squat variation. I really like it because it helps improve your ankle mobility, your hip mobility, but what I find is it really improves your core and your lower back strength to help stabilize your spine. The full version involves tapping your knee behind you while holding onto your back foot, but again, I don't have the strength or the ankle mobility for that, so I'm doing a regressed version where I'm just tapping my knee to the floor while keeping the foot in the air, and you can regress it even further by tapping your knee onto a block behind you. Then we have the slant board squat. This is great for getting into full knee flexion. By doing squats from full knee flexion, that means you're going to be working the lower quads more than the upper quads, and that is great for downhill running. And also the reason I'm throwing it in is going back to what I was saying earlier about having falls in Snowdonia where your foot slips away and one knee ends up round your ear. So I'm training my knee in full knee flexion with these squats so that hopefully when I fall over, my knee knows what to do in that situation. I can't stress enough the importance of really thinking about all the stresses and strains your body might experience in your training and running, and then choosing exercises that get you ready for all of those eventualities. And last up, we have the dragon squat. Again, the full version is a crazy feat of balance, mobility, and strength, and I'm just doing a regressed version. But even here, when I take my foot out to the side and then tap my knee on the floor in the midline to the side of my body, I'm really activating good hip strength, particularly on the outside, so the glute medius, the glute minimus, and it's helping my hip adduction and internal rotation. Between these 4 movements, we're building good balance, strength, mobility, and they're all the sorts of things that will prepare me for lots of different eventualities in training and racing. For my upper body at the moment, all I'm doing daily press-ups after my ice bath, and then if and when I'm in a gym, I do a few pull-ups. I really am not focusing that much on upper body at the moment, but I think it's good to put some stimulus through. And this leads me on to my idea for customization. It's really hard to get across exactly what you need in these videos, and that's because we're all built differently, we've all got different levels of mobility and strength and previous injuries. So I've decided to start a Patreon page where we can create a community and members can ask questions during the week, and once a week I'll make a video answering specific questions about how to regress exercises, progress exercises, deal with specific injury, and give other training tips. I'm sure it will help you get more out of your training, and it'll be fun. So if you want to hear more about my whole lifestyle plan that I'm using to get ready for the 100 miler, you can click this video here. And until next time, have a healthy and happy week.